A happy new year it is, and I hope you're ready, because here we go.
This is Funnels of Legacy.
Happy New Year to you, 2023. It's amazing how time flies, right? I hope you've had sufficient rest and were able to reset properly for everything that 2023 has to offer. I got out of town with the family for the new year and spent some great time celebrating with close friends. So I am pumped, relaxed, ready to go. Now, here at Funnels of Legacy, I thought about waiting until January this month to start building funnels and releasing the first podcast. However, when inspiration and motivation strike, even if it's in the beginning of December, you have to use it before it withers away. So I chose to launch this bi-monthly show last month, and this right now, ladies and gentlemen, is episode 4. So as much as breaks and resets are needed professionally and personally, there is a downfall that sometimes it's overlooked. Now, I've realized it's much more efficient and productive to work 30 minutes daily, every single day, versus working an 8-hour day once a week. And I know that's 3.5 hours versus 8 hours. However, when you're putting in the time every single day, what's important at that point is consistency. You're being consistent, even if it's a little bit of time, okay? This, especially in what I'm doing here, it helps keep the technical aspects fresh in your mind, keeps you motivated, and you gain what I like to call momentum multiple. So my kids, they love their video games. And in our house, you have Xbox and you have iPad. And for them, it's a privilege. It's not just this right because they're kids, they get to play these video games. And that trick helps some keeping them in line, behavior and in school and all that stuff. But I play some of these games, and with them, they're so crafty nowadays, these games. They tap into psychological triggers to get you hooked. They trigger a natural fear of loss and FOMO, fear of missing out. And I think those are the bigger ones. And the way they do this is, it doesn't matter what the game is nowadays. A lot of them are pay to play, right? Free download, then all these in-app purchases, so you got to be careful with your kids. But the way they do this is by having bonuses or power-ups that you get just for logging into the game. Just by clicking on that app on the iPad and you open up that game, you get a bonus or you get a power-up. And every single day that you do this, it compounds. So if you've gone days or weeks and you've been acquiring this bonus, the last thing you want to do is not log in, because then you lose that consecutive streak that you were doing. And my kids hate it. Like if they get in trouble and I take their stuff away, oh man, they'll get right back in line like that. So you definitely use that to your advantage if you have kids. But my point is that motivation, it works the exact same way. You can't expect to do something one time because it motivates you and expect that feeling to last for days on end, because it doesn't work that way. You have to revisit that spark of motivation that ignited you, and you have to revisit it daily, every single day. And I like to think of and use 5 main things that I use to get me motivated. And it works every time, and they work in a series. Each one of these 5 things is exponentially stronger than the last, okay? And I'm going to explain to you what it is. So let's assume that there's this thing you want to accomplish, and it could be professional, it could be personal, whatever it may be. You have that thing, that end result in mind, right? The last thing you want to do, probably, you're not that motivated yet, so you don't want to start pursuing it. You're not motivated to do that. Let's be real. Some people are, and you can be, but most people are like, oh, that's nice, but yeah, it's not worth the effort. Let me teach you a little trick right now. Step 1, okay? This is one of the 5 things. Number 1 is visualization, okay? Visualization motivates. And by visualization, I mean You are visualizing you already have achieving the goal that you want, or the thing that you want, or the relationship you want, whatever it is. You've already achieved it in your head, and you feel it. You close your eyes, you think about it, and you're visualizing, and you feel it, and it encompasses every fiber of your being. Perfect example of this is, because you do it already, is in your dreams. Have you ever had a dream that you wake up so happy, or maybe you wake up crying because somebody you love died in your dream, and you wake up and it feels so real to you? Well, you can tap into that same power and that same ability while you're awake by just deep visualization. And again, it's something you do daily, and you get better at it and you get deeper at it. Some people might call it meditation. Call it what you want, label it whatever you want, but it works. That's step number one. And you're able to do that and get into that state of already having accomplished or attaining the thing you want. You're going to be motivated. Step number two, after that, is documentation. Documenting that visualization, that feeling of what it's like, how your life has changed because you now have this thing in your life, or you are now this person that you are. You start documenting, writing it down in a journal, maybe creating a video, even if it's just for yourself to see. The reason this is so important is because now you are taking what's in your mind, and it's the first step into bringing it into the material world where it's tangible. Now you have something that you're no longer thinking. It's on paper in real life. Anything that's man-made in this world, you got to understand, it started with an idea, just in somebody's head. If they didn't take the steps necessary to put it on paper and then put it into production, it wouldn't exist. So you go from visualization, which motivates, and then you go to documentation, which motivates further. So now, after visualization and documentation, you're doing this for a while. Guess what happens? You are now motivated to do the next step, number 3, which is action. You take action. You're like, man, this feels good. Yep. So the thing that you were reserved to do, or maybe you're like, I'd rather do something else. No, now you're more inclined to take that next step, even if it's little baby steps, right? To move forward to achieve the thing you want. Action. And guess what action does? When you take a little bit of action, it motivates you further. And that little bit of action, right? You see things and you notice new things, and it helps you get more specific in your visualization and further your documentation, which results in more action. And as you take action, guess what happens? Number 4, progress. Progress. You can actually see the path, the trail that you're leaving, because you're making progress. You are now further along today than you were when you started. You see progress. And guess what that does? Motivates you to do what? To do more of the visualization, documentation, action, which yields to more progress, and you get into this loop. And you keep getting into this loop. You're motivated, you're taking action, until finally, number 5, results. You get the result that you want, and that motivates you further. And that is the secret, really, to do anything that you want. Is they say it's a mental game, and it is a mental game, but they don't talk about how to achieve it, because nobody has that motivation to go and pursue the thing that they want. But this has been my secret for years that works for me, right? In the last couple episodes, we talked about writing and what I do. I don't love to write, but at first it was just a thought in my mind. I would visualize, and I would be more motivated to write things down. So I write things down, then I start taking action. I see progress, motivates me, and then eventually, I'll have the result. And it's a recipe for success. So this, once you get that result too, and once you see all this progress that you made, this is where your comfort zone begins to expand, and you become a bigger and better version of yourself than you have ever been. So if this is your comfort zone, right, and you accomplish something by taking these steps, your comfort zone is now here. So everything that was around the perimeter of your comfort zone or just outside now is in your comfort zone and becomes easier. And the things that used to scare you, maybe goals that would terrify you in the past, become less scary. That is called growth, people. It's called growth. And this is how you accomplish it. So motivate yourself daily. Motivation comes from within. You have to stop looking outside for it. Stop waiting for it to come to you. You have to create it. And the easiest way to do it, sit in a chair, close your eyes, lean back, and start visualizing happy thoughts. That's really what it is. Because your goals, your things that you want to achieve, you want to achieve them because you feel they make you happy. So you should feel that feeling of gratitude and fulfillment when you are visualizing that. So it's easy to think happy thoughts. I mean, you're thinking 60,000 plus thoughts a day. Might as well be good ones, right? Take some time, visualize, and it could start with 15 minutes a day, and that's how you progress. My point here is to be consistent in anything you want to pursue, okay? That's even slightly out of your comfort zone, because continuous, persistent action is key, regardless of how imperfect you feel that action may be. And that rhymes, and I didn't know that. And I'll say it again. Continuous, persistent action is key, regardless of how imperfect you feel that action may be. All right. So in my last episode, my biggest concern here was delivering my content. So I had created my intro product, my intro paid product, which was $7. I already had my free product and funnel done and confirmed. But how was I going to deliver this $7 bundle to everybody? Plus an order bump that I told you about. So this is a combination of videos, PDF, Excels, and all this stuff. And I shared in the last episode how I came up with it and how I put it together. But how was I going to deliver this when somebody paid, right? And some of the options were deliver by email, send them a link, stuff like that. I decided to do something that at first I thought was a little bit scary and intimidating. But in ClickFunnels 2.0, they have this section that is called courses. And you can go in there and create a course, and it's absolutely way simpler than what I thought, okay? So what I'm able to do is somebody pays, they check out, and they get an email that says, welcome to your new course. They click there. Now they have access to whatever you allowed them to do based on your checkout. So in your checkout, you have a product. You could say, okay, this product, call it whatever you want, and I'm going to give them access to this module and these lessons. Boom. So that's what I did. They check out, they have access to that. If they click the order bump, well, now that order bump gives them access to this module and this lesson. Boom. Now they log into a back office and everything will be organized there. Everything they just bought now and any courses I offer in the future. So big aha moment. It was so simple and easy. And again, support helped me with that. And I looked up some videos. It works together so beautifully. So I was able to do all that. It was a win-win across the board. I ended up creating this big monster in my head for nothing. And that's kind of how things work, right? I mean, you think something worst case scenario, and sometimes it's just easier than what you think. A lot of the times it is. So when I created my ClickFunnels 2.0 account, I decided to sign up with Payments AI, which I believe it's part of ClickFunnels. I don't know if it's owned by them, but it's the payment processor that's in the back office automatically. Just sign up, put in your name and information, all that good stuff. And this was about a month ago or so. And I decided to log in and test something and test my new funnel, paid funnel, and make a purchase. Like actually put in my name, put in my email, my address, and my credit card information, just to see kind of what that process would look like from a buyer standpoint. And to my surprise, it worked. I mean, it worked. I would click on Payments AI in the back office and I see, boom, the $7 there. That was another big monster that just disappeared. Remember, that was a concern of mine last week, just collecting money, right? How are people going to check out? And it wasn't even an issue. It worked automatically, seamlessly, so I highly recommend that. And it's funny how 99% of the things we worry about never actually happen. It's just head trash that you have that you need to get rid of. So whether you're listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube, I came up with an idea that I think you're really going to like, because it's going to help you follow along what I'm doing, so it's more tangible and real for you. I created a map of my funnels and how they all tie together, how they all connect. And I'll update this periodically, and I'll put a link of the funnel map where you can see it. and how everything is set up as of the release of this episode. So for this episode, I've done exactly that. There's going to be a link in the show notes or in whatever the description below, and you'll be able to see my opt-in page for my free product, my $7 product, and what happens, okay? When somebody purchases, where do they go? They get an email sequence, they get a thank you page, and it's not perfect, but it mentally allows me to see what's in the digital world, right? What's happening behind the scenes, kind of like more in my face, so I can better strategize and get a better grasp and understanding of the big picture. Because from here, we have bigger things that we're trying to do. So my current setup as of today, I went back to my soap opera sequence and I plugged in links leading to my $7 intro product. Okay? So I tweaked that, and also on the delivery pages of my free offer, I added a link that leads them to this new $7 offer. So now I'm, again, starting to tie things together. So over the next couple weeks, this is my plan. Obviously, some further tweaking is going to happen, but I need to begin educating myself on paid traffic, all right? Specifically Facebook ads, because that's what I'm going to use at this moment in my mind to start driving traffic to these pages and start making money. So also I need to create material for my course so that I can have an upsell after somebody buys that $7 product and that order bump. That's nothing. The $7 product and the order bump the goal is to break even, maybe a little bit better on your ad spend. You're not going to make money. You're not going to make money off that. So I need to create that upsell, that course, to actually make a profit. And that's what I'm going to be working on in the couple weeks to come. So short and sweet today. I hope I was able to provide some real value, though. So I would love to hear your questions, your feedback, your ideas, and you can reach out to me via the comments or by email, questions@funnelsoflegacy.com. And until the next one, remember to stay motivated. See ya.